General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday, March 17 feel messy in the best possible way. The kind of episode where everyone seems to be cornered by their own decisions. Or maybe by other people's decisions, which honestly might be worse. I kept thinking about that while looking at the situation with Curtis, Stella, and Jordan. It feels tense already, and the episode probably has not even started yet. Curtis sits down with Stella. Or maybe it is not even a calm sit down, maybe it starts with frustration right away. Because they both know something is happening with Jordan, something serious, something that cannot be ignored anymore. Jordan is pregnant, and the strange thing here is not the pregnancy itself. It is what Jordan wants to do about it. Jordan is already thinking about ending it. Making the baby disappear before the world even has time to notice. That is harsh wording maybe, but that is the reality of it. She does not want this pregnancy to continue. And honestly, when you listen to her reasons, they are not exactly silly or selfish. They sound real. They sound like the worries of someone who knows her own body. Jordan only has one kidney. That alone changes everything about pregnancy risks. It is not some small health issue. And she is not young anymore either. She even admits that herself. She says it clearly. She is older now. Her body's not built for this kind of stress again. Carrying a baby might not be safe. And yet, Curtis and Stella do not want to hear any of it. That is where things become uncomfortable for me as a viewer. Because Curtis seems completely determined to make Jordan keep the baby. Not persuade gently, not discuss slowly. No, he seems ready to push hard. I can already imagine the conversation getting louder. Stella might be the one who pushes the emotional side. Stella has always been strong when it comes to family duty and legacy and those old-fashioned ideas about responsibility. She might say the child deserves a chance. She might say Jordan cannot just erase a life because she is afraid. But Jordan is not talking about fear alone. She is talking about survival. That is different. Still, Curtis refuses to back down. That is the strange part. It almost feels like he believes the decision belongs to him somehow. Which, honestly, makes the whole situation feel a little disturbing when you step back and think about it. Jordan might try to explain again. One kidney, older age, medical risk, complications, doctors warning her. She might list all those things slowly, almost tired, like she has repeated them too many times already. But Curtis keeps pushing the same direction. Keep the baby. And if Jordan refuses, then what? This is where the spoilers hint at something darker. Curtis and Stella might even threaten Jordan. That sounds extreme, but sometimes soap operas go there. Emotional threats, family pressure, guilt, things like that. Stella could easily say something like Jordan will regret it forever, or that the family will never forgive her. I do not know if that will work. Jordan is strong. Really strong, actually. She has survived worse situations than a family argument. So even if Curtis and Stella push her, even if they try to pressure her into continuing the pregnancy, there is still a good chance Jordan simply does what she wants anyway. And honestly, part of me hopes she does. Because this decision should belong to her body. That is just the truth. Curtis being stubborn about it makes the situation more complicated, not better. But while that intense family argument is building on one side of town, another situation explodes somewhere else. Britt witnesses something shocking. It likely happens when Jason tries to attack Cullum. Jason probably believes he can handle the situation alone, which is very Jason behavior if we are being honest. He walks into danger with that quiet confidence like he always does, but this time something goes wrong. Very wrong. Cullum might be more prepared than Jason expected. Maybe he has backup waiting. Maybe he predicted the attack. Or maybe Jason simply underestimated him for a second, and that 1 second was enough. Britt is there. She sees it unfold, and I imagine the moment being chaotic, a fight, movement, maybe a weapon, maybe someone shouting. Jason gets hurt. Cullum gains control of the situation quickly. That is the twist. Jason is usually the one who ends fights, but here he might lose. Britt watches the moment where everything shifts, and suddenly Jason is the one in danger. Then Cullum gives the order. Someone knocks Britt unconscious. That part feels brutal, but also very soap opera dramatic. One moment Britt is witnessing everything, the next moment everything goes black. She cannot help Jason. She cannot run. She cannot warn anyone. When she wakes up later, Jason will already be gone. Kidnapped. And that changes the entire balance of power in the story. Without Jason protecting her, Britt is completely exposed. That thought alone is terrifying. Jason was the only reason she might have escaped earlier. Without him there was no chance. Cullum removes the threat and the witness at the same time. Cold strategy, honestly. Soon after that, Sonny hears the news. Jason has disappeared. And Sunny does not react calmly to things like that. Anyone who has watched General Hospital long enough knows that Sunny reacts emotionally, aggressively, sometimes impulsively. Jason is not just a business partner, he is family. So Sunny will want revenge immediately. My guess is Sunny suspects Cullum right away. The pieces probably point in that direction. The attack, the disappearance, Britt returning to town alone and confused. It all smells wrong. But Sunny cannot just attack Cullum based on suspicion. Even Sunny understands that sometimes you need proof, a reason, something solid. Otherwise it becomes chaos. And here's the really frustrating part. Britt might actually know what happened. She saw it. She knows Cullum was responsible. But she cannot say it. Because Cullum has already made the threat clear. If Britt talks, the people she loves could suffer. Maybe her family. Maybe her friends. Cullum is not the type to make empty threats either. So Britt wakes up in town carrying a truth she cannot share. Jason is gone. Sunny is searching for answers. And the one person who saw everything has to stay silent. That is the kind of storyline that drives viewers crazy. In a good way maybe, but still frustrating. Elsewhere, Laura is clearly losing patience with someone. The spoilers say she tells a person she cares less and less about everything. That line alone sounds heavy, like someone who has been pushed too far already. The person she is speaking to might be Councilman Ezra. That would make sense. Ezra previously admitted something important to Laura. They are both trapped in the same situation. Both of them are basically being blackmailed by Sidwell, forced to follow Sidwell's orders. That kind of pressure changes people. It makes conversations sharper, colder. Laura might feel like she does not even have the energy to pretend anymore. So if she is speaking to Ezra, maybe she drops the polite mask. Maybe she tells him exactly how tired she is of the whole situation. Not angry screaming, just exhausted honesty. Sometimes that feels more powerful. Because when someone like Laura stops pretending to care about appearances, that means things are really falling apart behind the scenes. And then there is another story quietly unfolding. One that feels more emotional and personal. Felicia talks to Molly. She explains that Cody refuses to believe her. Felicia tried to tell him the truth already, but Cody did not listen. Or maybe he listened but refused to accept it. So Molly decides she has to say it herself. She cannot have children. That moment must be incredibly painful. There is no easy way to say something like that to someone you love. Molly probably hesitates before speaking. Maybe she struggles to find the right words. Maybe there are long pauses. But eventually she tells him, and then everything depends on Cody. Will he stay with her even knowing that future will be different? No children, no traditional family path. Some people can accept that, some cannot. I personally think Cody might stay. At least I hope he does. Relationships should not be built on expectations alone. But people are complicated. And sometimes dreams about the future matter more than they should. So Tuesday's episode looks packed with difficult choices, secrets, and pressure from every direction. Curtis pushing Jordan to keep a baby she fears carrying. Britt forced to hide the truth about Jason's disappearance. Sunny preparing for revenge without proof. Laura slowly losing patience with the manipulations around her. Molly risking her heart by telling Cody something painful. None of these stories feel simple. And honestly, that is why General Hospital still works after all these years. The characters never get easy paths. They stumble. They argue. They make choices that sometimes feel right and sometimes feel completely wrong. And as viewers, we sit there watching the chaos unfold, thinking about what we would do in the same position. Sometimes the answer is clear. Other times, not really.